And welcome to the 8 p.m. news brought to you by Eswatini TV. My name is Nondobeko Nzapkelwago. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. His Majesty King Mswati III has blessed the 22nd of July 2020 to be the official day for hosting this year's Somhlolo Festival of Praise. The Minister of Finance, Neil Reckenberg, has appointed a Revenue Appeals Tribunal which will provide a platform to hear and determine the public's appeals on income tax and revenue laws. The Minister for Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, says government is looking to take the country forward through the mining sector. The news. His Majesty King Mswati III has blessed the 22nd of July 2020 to be the official day for hosting this year's Somhlolo Festival of Praise. The announcement was made by the Minister for Home Affairs, Princess Lindiwe, who advised the nation to follow the proceeding on television and on various social media platforms.
It has pleased His Majesty King Mswati III to sanction the Somhlolo Festival of Praise celebrations for 2020. The service will be held during the holiday on Wednesday, the 22nd of July, starting at 10 a.m. Following the current prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, the service will be accessed online through local media and social media platforms. The nation is urged to follow the service from their places of comfort.
The Minister of Finance, Neil Reckenberg, has appointed a Revenue Appeals Tribunal which will provide a platform to hear and determine the public's appeals on income tax and any revenue laws. When appointing the committee, the minister said the tribunal is expected to yield positive results in that taxpayers' appeals will be addressed and resolved in a shorter time, reducing the backlog at the High Court.
When appointing the 7-member Revenue Appeals Tribunal, the Minister of Finance, Neil Reckenberg, said having the tribunal will positively affect the country's ranking in the ease of doing business and ability to attract foreign investors.
Once the Commissioner General has made a determination on your books or on your finances, on your personal tax, whatever tax matters there are, and the individual or the company feels aggrieved, they feel that the determination was wrong, they've got some kind of dispute with the determination, they feel that it's unfair in any way, they can now, at the moment, the only course of action is obviously negotiate and try and convince SRA as hard as they can, but from there it goes to court. And like was touched on at the moment, it goes to High Court, and at the moment, High Court number 1, we are behind at High Court, so cases are taking very long to go through. And secondly, it would be wrong to prioritize financial matters or tax matters above other matters. So they just fall in line with the other High Court matters, and it takes very long time to be done. At the same time, it's very expensive. So some people, if the tax matter they're dealing with is X, sometimes it'll cost you X times 2 just to take it through the courts. So sometimes you feel like it's unfair. So the tribunal is set up as an appeals tribunal. So which means if the individual or the company feels that the determination by SRA is unfair, is unrighteous, or they've omitted something, they haven't seen something and they cannot see it, they can now take it to the tribunal.
The president of the tribunal, Mbuso Simelane, says they will work diligently and transparently.
It is humbling for us at the beginning of this. This work is quite onerous and complex. You have set the tone.
The minister says the tribunal has been set up in terms of the Revenue Appeals Tribunal Act of 2019. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelswe Ndlangamandla with Nelswe Simelane in Babane.
The Minister for Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, says government is looking to take the country forward through the mining sector. Bembe says Maloma Mine needs to come up with strategies that will ensure that minerals that the kingdom has are mined to grow the economy of the kingdom and develop communities around the mines. The minister was speaking when visiting the Maloma Colliery mine.
The Minister for Natural Resources and Energy, upon arrival, was briefed on how the company works in a presentation made by the Managing Director of Maloma Colliery, Sengiphile Simelane. Simelane highlighted a number of challenges faced by the mine, which includes poor road infrastructure. The Minister Peter Bembe, when delivering his remarks, encouraged Maloma Colliery employees to bring about strategies that can take the country forward in ensuring that minerals are mined to develop the country. The minister says the time has come for the country to be a production country instead of a consumption country. The minister says the anthracite coal needs to be mined whilst they are lucrative.
Sibukile ukuthi Maloma as a mine will grow. Asisho 10 years later, sikhuluma ngokuthi we should be thinking about growth as of now. Tonke leleti tinye tindzaba lesikhulumisako tabo growth tinema limits mbijana. Kodwa nasokhuluma nge-mining ifika kanye nje ithi nje lim ishintshe lesimo kulowo mango lapho ikhona khona. And we are encouraging Maloma to think outside the box and look at what else can be there. Ake ngisho ke kumbele sikudiscover as we go along i-downside yethu silive. Kodwa ke litiko seli-embarke ekutheni litawuphuma lihambe liyobafuna abantu labatakumba umnotho lo ngaphansi.
Maloma Colliery has employed close to 500 Eswatini. The mine supports communities situated next to the mine through their community social responsibility programs. For Eswatini TV, Sondomlangeni with Themba Shabangu in Maloma.
The Minister of Health, Lizingosi, has asked Eswatini to welcome and cooperate with the teams who have been commissioned to go on a door-to-door campaign to check for people with COVID-19 symptoms. The minister was speaking at Caritas in Manzini when commissioning the team to start their job in the Manzini region.
In an effort to continue fighting the COVID-19 pandemic and to curb its spread, especially in the Manzini region, which is currently classified under the red zone, with the highest numbers of infections, the Minister of Health has commissioned teams known as the EFTTIT, which stands for Educate, Find, Test, Treat, Isolate and Trace. The team has been trained and comprises of doctors, nurses, lab technicians, clerks, amongst others, where their task will be to go on a door-to-door campaign and check for people with COVID-19 symptoms and isolate them. The Minister of Health, Lizingosi, asked Eswatini to cooperate and welcome them and ensure their safety.
Labatonqonqosela la emakhaya nibavumele njengoba sishido nje sentababona ukuthi bagcokeni nitababona ngalawo makhadi abo aka COVID labatawe bawembethe sicela ukuthi nibemukele la emakhaya.
She says they will have identity cards for easy identification. She pleads with all communities to be truthful during screening for easy identification of individuals who may be at high risk of the virus. The acting WHO country representative, Dr. Brian Chirombo, hailed all health workers and frontliners as heroes.
I would like to take this opportunity to celebrate our heroes. These are all the health workers whose everyday efforts keep the communities in Eswatini safe and healthy.
The Manzini Regional Administrator, Chief Kija, asked for compliance from everyone, and for those who will fail to comply, he asked the team to bring them forward to his office.
Not complying, maybe it might be dangerous, they shouldn't do anything to that person, but they must report that person to me, so that I deal with that person.
The commission team consists of 46 people who will form 10 teams. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian Msibi, Manzini.
The Attorney General, Sfiso Khumalo, says the Prevention of Organized Crime Act of 2018 is not in conflict with the Constitution of the land. Khumalo was addressing the House of Assembly before the House could debate on a motion moved by House Member of Parliament Mduduzi Mabuza, who wants the Minister for Justice to amend certain sections of the Act.
When the House of Assembly resumed its parliamentary business on Monday, Hosia Member of Parliament Honorable Mduduzi Mabuza moved a motion in the House where he was giving the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Pulile Kandu, 7 days to prepare a bill that seeks to amend certain sections of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act No. 11 of 2018 that will address the following: the retroactive effect, which is against Section 119 of the Constitution of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Act No. 1 of 2005, the unwarranted seizure of property based on suspicions without ascertaining clearly the source of income of the individual, the selective application of the law targeting a certain group of fellow citizens without any thorough investigation and not giving suspects the right to be heard. The law should spell out clearly the extent of forfeiture of proceeds in terms of contributions or purchase that such proceeds were expended. The Speaker, Honorable Petros Mavimbela, informed the House that the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs was not in the chamber.
At any time. She did indicate to me ukuthi usawuqala kaDokotela. So ngati ke ukuthi bahlonisha utawuvela nini. Ngikho sike bahlonisha lena iyamdzinga substantive minister. Ukuthi angicetse phela umhlonisha wasehosi. Ngikho uthi ke bahlonisha. Ngiyaniva ukuthi nithini. Ngithi mina substantive minister waka Justice and Constitutional Affairs uqale kaDokotela. So usaka veli la mina ngibheka ukuthi angene la. But ngobe this is the last item, that is why we had to go even to addendum, hoping ukuthi utawuvela akaveli bahlonisha.
Speaker, let's have a sitelela imqoka kakhulu. Kuyasha lasuka khona. Sibithi umhlangano abakhona laba nasithi siqala agenda bathi phofa. Asikhona ukusebenza Mr. Speaker. Sicela ukuthi minister simele mshayeli abuye la sosebenza Mr. Speaker, siyacela.
Mina ngiyathuka Mr. Speaker ukuthi njengalokhu lenzaba imqoka kangaka ngabe minister ngekuya kwakhe esibhedlela ubese uyayithumela ini team yakhe ukuthi tokhona kulalela ngoba uthi uyabuka awulibona le office lakhe noma vele uvela wabalekela lenzaba.
So consult lokuthi uyeda yini nangabe akedi ukhona lo ngabekwa ngoba phela nakangekho substantive ukhona lo nga act.
When the minister finally returned, the Honorable Speaker allowed the Attorney General to advise the House.
Mr. Speaker, the position or the view that we hold, Mr. Speaker, is that the legislation yepoka, in particular Section 2, Mr. Speaker, lekungiyena ayin issue lokhuluma ngalama process of criminal activities is not unconstitutional. It is not in conflict with the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the legislation it focuses on the property that you hold at the time. Presently, nangabe Mr. Speaker, I want an example. Nangabe Mr. Speaker, on a private jet, the private jet, and we have the private jet, we call them over, and Sanisa, Ticalte, Nabegis. Therefore, the Ticalte, when Sanisa 15 years ago. But the private jet, present, that provision, retroactive, in relation to the process, the private jet. Presently, then the state, if it can satisfy the court, can move an application.
The Attorney General says Section 2 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act No. 11 of 2018 is not in conflict with the Constitution. By the time of compiling this report, the House was still debating the motion. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Linton Kule in Parliament.
And now for the COVID-19 update from the Ministry of Health. The Minister of Health, Lizingosi, has reported 2 COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours. This brings the number of COVID-19 related fatalities to 23. The deceased are a 56-year-old woman from the Manzini region and a 40-year-old man from the same region. The minister further says 33 people tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, which brings the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases to 1,826 in the kingdom. There are 920 active cases in the country. 850 have recovered from COVID-19 and 23 deaths have been recorded. The Manzini region has recorded 895, Hoho has recorded 650, and Nchiselweni has recorded 151, and Lubombo has recorded 130 COVID-19 cases. Let's continue with the news. The House of Assembly will, on Thursday, elect a senator who is going to replace the late Senator Mike Temple. This was announced by the Speaker, Petrus Mavimbela. The Clerk to Parliament, Mvuna Dlamini, then reminded members about the caliber of people they should nominate and vote for.
Negotiations, arrangements, kwesithathu bahlonishwa njengoba nathi ukuthi umuntu lokhethwayo ehlelweni lehloniphekile he must be a registered voter. Ngoba phela ngeke wetha lapha uthi uda eParliament kanti awuzange ubhalise uma kuya ekhethweni. Lokunye ke bahlonishwa lokwashwa ngibo washwa lokusemthethweni nalokulabanye abakunambisi. Ukuthi lo nene lokhanzakala ukuthi ungenela likhetho uma unfortunately walgenela likhetho waliluza in terms of the act uyadisqualify kwashaywa kwabasemthethweni ngathi abanye bakhala ke ngaloko ngicabanga ukuthi bahlonishwa ngihamba na legal clerk nalelinye na principal committee clerk mhlawumbe ngaba khona labangakuchaza briefly. But lokunye siyakuchaza kahle ngaleli langa when honorable speaker sasinikile lithuba lokuthi si-conducted lo khetho. But briefly, there's a process of vetting to ensure that the person that is elected does not have a criminal record. 2, we have to ensure bahlonishwa ukuthi loyo lomnominator has totally complied with SRA. Thirdly, indaba yaka-EPC, that person should be a registered voter. And fourthly, indaba yokuthi uma if indeed algenela likhetho akazange abe umuntu lokhanza ukuthi sosala endleleni.
The Rotary Club in Babane Mbuluzi, working together with Pick and Pay stores and Gulp Garage, have started a campaign whereby Eswatini can donate soap in bins that will be placed in stores. The Rotary Club president, Skhumbuzo Mbuyisa, says the campaign will take a period of 4 weeks. The Rotary Club in Babane, together with Mbuluzi, working together with Pick and Pay stores and Gulp Garage, have started a campaign whereby Eswatini can donate soap in bins that will be placed in stores. The Rotary Club president, Skhumbuzo Mbuyisa, says the campaign will take about 4 weeks.
Following challenges in sourcing supplies for new electricity installations from other countries due to the outbreak of COVID-19, Eswatini Electricity Company suspended all new quotations and installations. The company's marketing and corporate communications manager, Kaya Mavuso, says having resumed operations, they will only attend to already existing applications and will only accept new applications if they are coming from businesses.
We are now processing applications for new connections that were already in our system. We have on average about 4,000 requests for service that we have from our customers. We are trying to attend to those as soon as possible. In the meantime, we would like to advise new applications for connections that They have not been opened as yet, meaning that if you are an individual and you are looking for a service for connection from EEC, we are not in a position to assist you for the time being.
Mavuso says issuing of proof of residence is still suspended, adding that the public can use the slips issued when buying electricity units as their proof of residence. He says the public will be informed of any further developments regarding the electricity installations. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla with Nelsiwe Simelane in Babane.
This was the news that I was reading. The Eswatini Electricity Company says it has started installing electricity for about 3,500 customers who applied before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. This was said by the company's marketing and corporate communications manager, Kaya Mavuso. Let's continue with the news. The chairman of the COVID-19 Resource Mobilization Committee, Dr. Philip Nisi, says funds that have been donated to the committee have been utilized and they still need more to help patients who are currently undergoing treatment. Nisi pleads with companies and organizations to come forward and assist.
The chairman of the COVID-19 Resource Mobilization Committee, Dr. Philip Nisi, says funds that were donated to the committee have been utilized strictly in the fight against COVID-19 and they still need more. He gave us an insight from the 25th of June as to how much was there and how it was utilized.
The 13.3 million, 10.3 million of that was given to NDMA and UNDP to go and procure necessary goods, especially the personal protective equipment, which was desperately needed by the country. So we use that as a platform for procuring the goods with that cash. The balance of 3 million has been used to buy sanitizers, temperature batteries, and all these were requisitioned by NDMA. Which means effectively we have got about 1.5 million in the bank account. That 1.5 million has already been earmarked to go and complete some boreholes that NDMA is working on in some communities, and another balance will go to help at RFM where Standard Bank is working on a certain ward, also aimed to assist with the COVID challenge. We would like to extend a word of encouragement, appeal, especially to friends of the nation. We have seen companies locally standing up. We still need beds, we still need ventilators, we still need blankets, all equipment that can capacitate additional referral measures. It's what I believe is desperately needed by now.
Minister says with the COVID-19 numbers shooting up on a daily basis, that automatically means more assistance will be needed, especially in terms of water and food for patients. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian Msibi, Babane.
The Eswatini Association for Crime Prevention and Rehabilitation of Offenders, together with Eswatini SANOP Chapter, which are organizations that care for the well-being of ex-prisoners, today donated food to ex-prisoners who come from different regions of the country.
The Eswatini Association for Crime Prevention and Rehabilitation of Offenders, together with Eswatini SANOP Chapter and other organizations that ensure the well-being of ex-prisoners, donated food parcels to 20 ex-prisoners in the country. The ESACRO CEO Desmond Mapanga says they found it important to provide ex-prisoners with food to support them during these trying times of COVID-19.
Very appreciative of this, and the fact that we have also try to make sure that they have access to personal protective equipment in the form of masks inside prisons, and all other interventions.
The Vice President of Eswatini SANOP Chapter, Nkosing Piledlamini, says they hope the food parcels will be of great help and comfort to the ex-prisoners.
We have measured with ESACRO in order to give some food parcels to our beloved ex-inmates. As the SANOP, we are just extending a helping hand to help curb the issues of food shortages among ex-prisoners, because we understand that they are from a challenging environment and coming out into the society and having no job and everything they are having is really a hard time getting food and everything. So that's why we've decided today to extend just this kind gesture.
One of the ex-prisoners, Kazim Kwanazi, who spoke on behalf of others, expressed his gratitude to the organizations. The organizations will continue to assist ex-prisoners by providing them with food, especially during this period of the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting, I'm Demalang Ndlamini with Muslim Konda, Manzini.
Let's take a look at our sports news. The Eswatini Chess Federation President, Dumsani Msibi, says the federation is already working towards the World's Chess Day theme that says, "Teach everybody how to play chess." Msibi was speaking in line with today's world celebration of Chess Day.
Every year on the 20th of July, the world celebrates World Chess Day. This year the theme says, "Teach everybody how to play chess." The Eswatini Chess Federation President Dumsani Msibi says the federation is already working in line with the theme as they have started introducing the sport into different schools.
Besinayo njengoba ngisho nje besinayo ingcikitsi yethu lenkulu kethini besithe sifuna ukuthi kulomnyaka besitawugqizelela kakhulu tikolo tase primary.
Msibi went on to highlight that this year the federations in the world could not celebrate the day due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, but messages have been emphasized to different federations.
Kuso lesikhathi se COVID-19 kubuketwa ukuthi ichess ingenda njani yalo ukuze ukuthi iside ekurecovering kwemhlaba.
Chess was amongst the local sporting codes that were suspended as they have the potential of spreading the coronavirus easily. First watching TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Coach Fanana Dlamini is encouraging local boxers to be exemplary to the rest of the public and following different regulations being provided by government on how to prevent how to contract coronavirus. Dlamini was speaking to Eswatini TV Sports in Mbabane.
Boxing is amongst sporting codes with high potential to spread the coronavirus pandemic through its contact. The national team coach Fanana Dlamini says it will take time for the sport to return to action. Dlamini is encouraging, however, local players to be in the front line, trying to follow all the instructions for the prevention of the virus.
To my fellow boxers and boxing coaches, please be safe where you are. Corona is dead.
Dlamini says coaches also have a responsibility to ensure that they all the time are safe and free by wearing masks.
Safety. So,
Dlamini says this should also apply to the boxers as they should always use masks whenever they are in public.
Please,
he concluded urging boxers to keep on training and remain fit. First watching TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Babane.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. His Majesty King Mswati III has blessed the 22nd of July 2020 to be the official day for hosting this year's Somhlolo Festival of Praise. The Minister of Finance, Neil Reckenberg, has appointed a Revenue Appeals Tribunal which will provide a platform to hear and determine the public's appeals on income tax and revenue laws. The Minister for Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, says government is looking to take the country forward through the mining sector. That is all the news we had for you tonight. Up next is the weather forecast. Good night and God bless.